Okay, just a quick update on the Batialle system, me messing with it. I printed off these cards which I saw recommended by Eric's Tabletop Games, I think it was, which are on the Board Game Geek site for Batialle De Ligny. Now, you have to excuse the glare in here, it's terrible, I'm afraid. These sort of break down all the different areas, and they're really like a a rules summary sheet, but in card form, and they sort of correspond to the sort of things you'd be doing as you're going through various phases of the game. So they look great. Now, the big problem I had with this game is straight away I went to the command segment and I started working my way through it, and I realised there are these things called command points that are generated via the types of leaders and things that you have actually on the map. Now, if you look at all the scenarios, well, I say all the scenarios, this is the key to this, the scenarios here. Gosh, glare is bad. Sorry about this. You see scenario 1, it says command points, and it's the same for scenario 2 and scenario 3, but I'm playing scenario 4. Now scenario 4 doesn't have anything about command points. So having watched a tutorial video from someone else's channel, I noticed that you can sort of say that you get one command point for each leader and one for each corps commander, and occasionally for leaders like cavalry leaders and things like that. But I was still stuck. I couldn't, because the command points are needed to create what are called maneuver units. You can't, and maneuver units are needed to actually move anything. I'm absolutely baffled. So I managed to contact someone else via another website. I think this was Eric's Tabletop Games again, who got back to me. Very thanks for them coming back to me. It's very good. And they said, "Oh no! What you have to do is if you look on the special rules and scenarios booklet, go to the right to the back of it, like you would, because it's all behind the historical stuff. So you're basically looking at all this historical stuff and saying, oh, I'm not going to read that. I know history of the battle. Anyway, but if you go all the way to the back of that and turn over the last page, ta-da, you get the command point charts for Army of the North and the Prussian Army of the Rhine. Now, all it would have needed in the scenario section was to say refer to Army command point charts on pages 32 and 33 of this booklet, and I wouldn't have had this problem. So I'm just at a loss as how I was supposed to know where this was and how to find it. I think it's a case of people writing rules books and scenario books and assuming people know the system and know the ropes. Well, I don't. Anyway, so I've managed to establish this, and the German one, sorry, the Prussian one is exactly how I expected it to be. Blucher gets a command point, and the 3 corps commanders who are currently on the board get a command point each, and there'll be one for the 4th corps when it arrives. For the Army du Nord, Napoleon obviously gets one, Grouchy, which I already expected, and I can't even read this because of the terrible glare. Yeah, and all your corps commanders get one. except for that detached part, the first corps. Yeah, that all makes sense. First Cavalry Division, CP. Yeah, right. Well, I didn't know that one. I wouldn't have been able to work that one out on my own. So all the French cavalry divisions appear to have their own command points. Yeah, under the cavalry reserve. Right. So that's not quite how I envisaged it, but I was fairly close by just guessing. Anyways, I'm sorry about this. It's a bit of a silly rant, to be quite honest, but it was amazing how I was sort of halted by just that tiny little thing. Oh yeah, another thing I did mention, I haven't mentioned, is the counters. Now I blue tack on the counters to make the games not only cat proof, but it makes it so I can wall mount stuff, and it also makes it so I can put stuff away to one side and pick it up again later. But the counters, I've already noticed counter separation, which is very unusual this early in a game where you haven't actually started moving anything. If you look at the counters themselves, they're not very good quality. So I've got several counter separations which need repairing before I've even started the game. So for anyone who blue tacks like me, just bear that in mind. It might be a bigger issue than it normally is.